Welcome to class, everyone. It's wonderful to have you here. Welcome to our reset and reboot and unplug and all those things sessions. As you can see, I also need one today. And we often think it's just ourselves, but the mind can get really busy. And I guess all I'm sharing is my experience. I can literally get lost in the world in my head, and then because through the years I've learned and I meditate and I've learned my tools to notice that I get lost and then to be able to come back. But I find a lunchtime yoga class is such a beautiful opportunity to reset in the sense of what's actually real. What is real? And so let's practice with that today. So I invite you to sit and cross your legs and just rest your hands onto thighs, and then close your eyes. Find your sit bones and sit in a comfortable way, maybe hinging forwards and back a couple of times on your sit bones. Tilting your pelvis forwards and back a few times, just exploring your range of movement in the hips and in the shoulders. And then softening shoulders down. Rest your hands onto thighs, and you might need to sway your elbows forwards and back a couple of times. Soften your eyelids and feel the space between eyebrows. We can hold quite a lot of tension there. So see if you can soften that a bit more. Soften your lips and your cheeks. And consciously use your exhalations to allow your shoulders to soften away from ears. So your neck, your collarbones, everything becomes a little longer. And it finds an easeful, peaceful way to soften down and away. Let your shoulder blades slide down your back ribs. And let's turn our palms up, let our fingertips curl in. And as we do so, we expose the insides of our hands, our palms. And because that is a very sensitive part of our body, just noticing the sensations there. So using our attention in a conscious way, by guiding them, for example, to sensations in our palms, we take airtime away from mind. As we do so, we land more and more deeply in the here and now. We come back to the question of what is real? What is real this moment? And noticing that thoughts are not real. They come and go. They move and change. Maybe you know this feeling of one moment feeling like the world is yours and everything's amazing, and just an hour later as if the opposite is true. So noticing that, you realize that there's maybe a different layer that is reality. So feeling the insides of your hands already grounding downwards, anywhere below the shoulders. Letting our eyelids, our mouth, our jaws soften. And bring your attention to breath and notice and observe your breath flowing in and out of your body. Simply witnessing as a starting point. Notice where you feel your breath most prominently. And then gently asking yourself, could I deepen my breath? Without forcing or straining, could I expand my breath? Could I maybe let my whole body be part of this dance of breath? So maybe your entire body can gently expand as you inhale and just soften and relax as you exhale. Flowing with this awareness for a few breaths, exploring deeper and deeper inwards. Opening ourselves up to sounds that surround us. More and more subtle layers of sensations on our skin. Maybe movement within our body, organs, and heartbeat, and muscles. Really opening up towards this moment. The depth and richness of here and now. And then gently start to move your head forwards and back in a very mindful, gentle, explorative way. And witness, see how breath and movement might connect. So we're gently opening throat and neck. And if you like, let that movement become a little bigger. So as you lift your chin, you lift your sternum, you lift your navel. As you drop your chin, you open your shoulder blades, you slide them apart, you lift your navel up and in, until eventually you roll onto front sit bones and back sit bones. Give yourself permission to hunch and open. Turn your palms down, so hands cupping the knees. And keep going. Rounding spine, arching spine. And then we come to center, hands still resting on knees. Drop your right ear to right shoulder, lift your left ear up to ceiling. Roll your shoulders back, slide shoulder blades down. Feel that lengthening through the neck. Inhale here, exhale to soften a little deeper. On your next inhalation, you come to center. As you exhale, you drop your left ear to left shoulder. And stay here, maybe you move around a bit. Let the neck soften and lengthen. Let your shoulder blades slide down. And inhale again to expand. Exhale to soften a little deeper. On your next inhalation, head to center and exhale, right ear to right shoulder. Inhale, head to center. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. And soften. Slowly lift, open your eyes and bring your hands forwards. Interlock your palms. And then turn your palms forwards, slide your shoulder blades down, drop your elbows down and lift your hands up. So see if you can bring your arms in line with ears, your palms facing up. And then maybe you can gently twist from your navel, twisting left and right, twisting left and right. Just from your center, have your hands above your head. See if you can stack your sit bones, your pelvic floor, your heart, your neck, your head, reaching up. And then release, bring your palms parallel. Let's lift our chin, look up into the space between our hands and see if we can reach our thumbs back towards the wall behind us. Lift our sternum a little higher. And then looking forwards again, we exhale our right hand onto mat, move it over to the side and reach into side body. Really breathe long, opposite sit bone grounding deeply. And as you exhale, you draw your top elbow to knee and round your spine, lift your navel. And on your inhalation, you open your palm up. Follow your hand with your gaze. So you're turning your head, you're leaning back into yourself. And again, elbow, as you exhale, coming forwards, round your spine, lift your navel. And inhale to open up. Looking at top hand, lean into yourself, open your heart. One more time. Exhale to elbow, round your back body, from tailbone into neck, all the way, squeeze your belly in. And inhale to open wide. Stay here, reach here. And then on your next inhalation, reaching up through center, both arms above our head. And then the opposite hand finds its way onto mat. We hinge over to the side. The opposite sit bone stays deeply grounded, and we'll just breathe into that side body. Keep the bottom waistline long as well. And as you exhale, you draw your top elbow to knee. Lift, lengthen through spine. Round it out, lift your navel. On your next inhalation, open palm up. Open your heart, and you might find this quite challenging. Look at your hand as if you were looking with your nose, really turning your head. And exhale, elbow to knee again, rounding it out. Lift your navel, squeeze, inhale to open up, widen. On your exhalation again, squeezing, rounding, widen into the space between shoulder blades, and inhale to rise it up. And we come back up to center, reaching it up. Hands come onto knees. We hinge onto front sit bones and back sit bones. So it's something like this, front sit bones, back sit bones. It's pelvis initiated, rolling forwards and back. And the next time you're on the fronts of your sit bones, you fold yourself forwards, you let your spine fall forwards, and you let your knees drop, you let your head, your chest rest wherever it needs to. Just folding forwards, folding over your legs. Soften your knees outwards. We bring our chin to chest, round ourselves up to sit, bring our hands back behind us. We step our feet onto mat, a bit wider than the hips. The hands ground deeply in line with the shoulders. We lift our hips to hover, and we'll just shift our hips forwards and back. Imagine yourself drawing circles around your wrists. So we're stretching the finger joints and we're stretching our wrists. Taking some weight into hands, notice what that feels like. You might be able to lift the hips a little higher and explore here. No wrong, no right. Dropping navel in, lifting hips high, lifting heart high. Roll your shoulders back, maybe lifting head back for a moment. So this is our unplugging. We're stepping out of everything that's familiar. We're opening ourselves up. We treat each moment with curiosity. Bringing our hips back down, move our feet slightly forwards, reach our hands forwards, gentle circles into the wrists. Very conscious, really be in every bit of movement, in every bit of breath. And then open arms, open heart, roll yourself down. So your tailbone points forwards, your navel in, and you round yourself all the way down onto mat. Reaching arms up and over, stretch it out, reach it out. And exhale, chin to chest, roll yourself up again. Rolling up to sit on your sit bones, rising tall. And then exhale again, rolling down onto earth. One vertebra at a time. Arms reach up and over, thumbs gently touch the mat. Reach into fingertips. Another inhale here. And exhale, rolling up. And if the rolling up is not so easy, then grab your thighs. Let's roll down a little bit. Squeeze navel in and all the way up. Beautiful. Cross your legs the unfamiliar way. The other way to how you had them crossed earlier. Hinging forwards and back. Rolling forwards and back on sit bones. And then folding forwards. Folding over your crossed legs. Let your knees drop outwards. Let yourself become one with earth and gravity. And then roll yourself up to sit. Rising arms up, inhale here, and we exhale to twist right. Bring your left hand onto right thigh or knee. Right hand behind you. Roll your shoulders up and back and down, looking over back shoulder. Get a sense of growing tall with each inhale and going deeper into the twist with each exhale. Tailbone reaches downwards, navel lifts upwards. On our next inhalation, we'll rise our arms up. We'll twist the other way. Twist and then exhale, hands down. Looking over back shoulder. Again, tailbone reaches down, navel lifts high. Your heart lifts high, you look and gaze. Twisting deeply. And inhaling up to center, rising arms up. Exhale them down onto shins. Bring your feet a little closer. Roll over your feet onto hands and knees. So hands are under shoulders, knees under hips. Spread your fingers wide, really, really wide. And then we lift our palms to stretch our fingers out. So you're stretching into the bases of your fingers. Spread them out, shift some weight forwards and back. And then bring your hands, your palms back down onto earth. See your wrists parallel, see your fingers spreading wide. On our next inhalation, we'll lift our sternum and our gaze and our sit bones, and we'll lengthen through the front torso. And on our next exhalation, we'll point our tailbone down, we hollow out our navel, and we lengthen into the space between our shoulder blades. Round yourself up. Stay for extra breath. On your next inhalation, arch it. So this is a cat and cow movement. Let's do another 5 of these. Arching and rounding. And arching and rounding. In your own pace. In your own perfect range of movement. Fill each millimeter of your body with breath and awareness. Connecting inwards, so focused, so much attention in this moment that there's no space for thought, no space for stories. By now we've probably done about 5. Let's find our neutral spine. Check your hands, spread your fingers even wider, tuck your toes under, and then lift the knees. Press your hips back, press your hands forward. The knees lift, and then slowly one heel at a time. So moving from side to side, gently release your heels down to mat. And you might want to watch your feet for a moment, just observing how they move, what the ankles do. And then have a look down at mat, or maybe even into the space between your hands, and see if you can drop your collarbones a little closer to toes. So you're shifting your weight into heels, your hands reaching forwards, and your spine is allowed to lengthen. Tilting pelvis forwards for sit bones to reach. And we're all different. Allow it to be whatever you feel. It's not about what it looks like, or just be with it. And then we lift our heels high. We bend our knees. Can we glue our tummies or lower ribs onto thighs? Lift your heels forwards, look forwards. So you're poking your sit bones up even higher. And if you can, shift your weight into left toes, lift your right foot as if you wanted to tickle the back of your head, and see if you can lift your head to do so. And right foot down, grounding it, heel lifts forwards and up, left foot reaches up. Check your elbows, they're pointing at back corners of your mat. Lots of lift and length, and the leg down. Now your heels come down, your feet come hip wide apart, outside edges parallel. Walk your hands to feet. And then bring your hands onto shins, onto knees, onto thighs. And just gently roll your shoulders back. Lengthen your chest forwards and up. And hinge from the pelvis so your knees can bend. Folding forwards, let your torso hang, let your arms hang. And sway from side to side, from foot to foot, from the heel to toes, maybe circling. Soften, soften forwards. And again, hands slide up, maybe onto knees or thighs. Lift your gaze, lift your heart. And exhale to fold it forwards again. Let yourself hang. Maybe you can draw the kneecaps and sit bones up a little higher this round. How about we lift our toes and spread them out and bring them back down. And coming up, lifting gaze, lifting heart. Maybe hands on shins this round. And maybe you need to move them higher. And then folding forwards again, going deeper and deeper into this forward fold. Make your heels light, lift your kneecaps up. Lift your sit bones high, wiggle your toes. And from here we bend our knees, make ourselves round, grounding deeply through our feet. We'll roll up to stand. And we roll our shoulders back a few times. Unfolding ourselves, coming up to stand. Maybe the first layer can come off. Have a look at your feet, they're hip wide apart. Lengthen tall. Hands alongside the thighs. And stand your tallest you for a moment. And then as you reach your arms through the sides, you inhale deeply and reach them up. And then let's do that again. Bringing your hands through the sides. Exhale your hands down. And one more time. Inhaling deeply. Arms through the sides and up. Grab the space above your head as if you're grabbing a crown and you're putting it on your head. And then sit it back into chair. Have an inhalation here, exhale, your hands come down. Stay in your chair pose. And hands come back and away. Interlock behind, roll your shoulders back. Notice how every movement is connected. There's no A, B, C, there's just the flowing in between. Maybe from here you fold over your legs and your arms might come over. Your hands might also just be resting here. So embrace where you're at. Give yourself permission to play and flow, to explore. And then slowly unravel yourself back into chair. Inhale and exhale, folding yourself forwards. Taking a moment before we lift our gaze and then walk our hands to the front mat. Bring your hands shoulder wide, your feet hip wide, and then pointing tailbone away, lengthen through the neck, gently lift your head back and away, and maybe stay here in your plank. If that's a bit much, bring your knees down onto mat to help you. But your navel is long, your sacrum is pushing away, your tailbone is pushing away, and your gaze is forward. Be your most spacious you. Whether on knees or on toes, be where you're at. Point your elbows to back corners of your mat, spread your fingers wide. And once this gets challenging, focus on what's spacious within you right now. Find what's spacious. And then slowly we'll roll onto outside edge of our left foot. So if you're on your knees, you can keep your knee on the mat and just stack your hips from here, or you might be on the side and lift up. Shift your hips forwards, lean your heart back. Bring your arm up and over. See if your hands can, maybe your hand can reach for the floor, your right hip can reach for the sky. Beautiful, and then just coming over back into plank. Rearrange yourself, rolling onto outside edge right foot, inside edge left foot. Arm comes up, heart lifts, hips forward. You might be able to lift a little higher, really pushing right hand into mat, lifting into hip, challenging yourself, breathing deeply. The deeper you breathe, the more energy. And hand comes down, plank, and exhale that into down dog. Feel your down dog, shake your head, nod your head, ground your hands, weight to heels, poke your sit bones up. Let's lift our right foot up here. Right heel up to ceiling and left heel down into earth. Keep your hips and your chest level to earth. Your index finger base grounded. Right foot comes down. Left leg rises. Feel your body in space. Take your gaze forward or straight down to mat. Open your heart. Drop your right heel, lift your left heel. Lift your right kneecap. And left foot comes down. Let's swap again. Left foot grounds, right foot rises, gently looking forward. Find length, lift into heel, challenge yourself. Breathe deeper when it gets difficult. And right foot down. One more time. Left leg up, rising, reaching. And this time the left knee comes into chest. We round our spine, point our tailbone, lift the knee, lift the foot, push the mat away, have lots of space and step your foot forward. It might land between hands or it might need a bit of help. Your feet hip wide, your right knee drops, your right toes point back, your left knee above heel. So adjust if you need, fingertips in line with heel, and then gently rest your left armpit onto left knee. Bring your hands flat onto mat and give yourself permission to sink towards mat. So we're using gravity to gently open hips. There's no forcing, no pushing. Feel free to sway and really add your weight into this. Open your pelvic floor. Tuck your tailbone down. Elbows pointing to back corners of your mat. Maybe your gaze forwards. And embrace and acknowledge all that is alive in you this moment. Breathe space into it, space around it. Be fully here now, whether comfortable or not. Another big inhale, and as you exhale, maybe you can go a little deeper. And then we'll stretch out our front leg, whatever that means for you. Maybe it can straighten out. Might need to stay bent, coming forwards again, lifting heart. Shifting back again, reaching through sit bones, folding forward. Coming again, lifting heart. Soften the hips, open hip flexors. Let's move it back one more time. Coming forwards, grounding into foot, fingertips light, back toes tuck, back foot steps, and we rise it up. Lifting up, lengthen up, look up if you can, lift and lower your back heel a few times. Let's bend our back knee and drop it down onto earth. Let's bring our hands through the sides onto pelvis. Bring your pelvis to be upright. Point your tailbone down. Use your glutes. Use your navel. Not losing it, using it. Tuck your tailbone, lift through navel and come back up. And maybe you can shift the back knee back and keep the pelvis upright. So you're using your navel to open here, your core center to open hip flexors. We bring our hands together up, inhale here, and exhale, hands onto sternum. We hinge forward, align our body with our back leg, twist over to front knee, so our right elbow comes onto knee, or it might hook over, and then we twist as we press our hands into one another. If you feel like you want to explore, but maybe your arms open wide as your top hand reaches back. Maybe you can deepen into hips. Breathe yourself spacious. Lean your head back, lean your heart back. And hands together, back to center. Rising arms up. And as we open, we roll our back heel down into warrior pose. So your right pinky toe side is parallel to the mat. Open your thighs apart, front knee above heel, and your arms come out to the side. Have a look past your right hand, turn your gaze. See your arm and your collarbones parallel to mat. Gazing forwards, everything's aligning, your front thigh parallel to mat, your arm. Push your hands down, grow a little taller. Beautiful. Lift through your pelvic floor, using your breath for that. And let's see, can we reach it forwards a bit? Can we drop our elbow to inner knee, using it as a lever to twist our chest open? Can we reach our top hand up? And then can we maybe sink a little deeper into our hips? Keep rolling your right hip open, your right thigh rolls back. Ground into right pinky toe. Squeeze, reach, challenge yourself. Breathe deeply. And come up. Open up. Reach it back. Hand drops, back hand drops and slides to foot. Front hand lifts. Maybe having a look up. As you peek past your body, you see your knee above your heel. Open wide. Long lines through spine and reach. And coming back to center, warrior two. Warrior two becomes lunge warrior as you roll onto right toes. Lengthen here. And as we exhale, we lean forward, bring our hands onto knee, just cupping your knee. See if you can find balance on your left foot. Left knee slightly bend, right leg might lift, and then step it back. Fly your arms up as if you're celebrating. Reach and lengthen. Continuously opening our heart center, our front body. Let's do that again. Hands come onto knee. Weight shifts onto left foot. Right toes might totally stay on mat, or they might come up. You might be able to straighten your left leg and reach your right toes up to sky. Be where you're at fully. And then stepping it back. Another celebration, reaching up. And exhale, hands down onto earth. Take a moment for hands to ground. And find your leg reaching back into three-legged downward facing dog. Bring your leg down onto mat. And just flow a little. Move your hips. Shake your head no, nod your head yes. If you'd like to stay in down dog, you stay. If you want to rest on hands and knees, you may. Or you might come into plank. From plank, the knees come down, the toes point back. You build it from the pelvis. You squeeze your tailbone down. You lift your heart up high. Lifting inwards. Navel lifts inwards. Tailbone reaches away. Heart softens. And back onto hands and knees. Back into down dog. The right leg rises this time, reaching up. We did as we did on the other side. We come forwards, knee comes into chest. We round ourselves. Round your upper body. Round your navel. Round. And then land your foot between your hands. If it needs a bit of help, it may be helped. And your back knee comes down. Beautiful. Point your back toes back. And then ground your right knee into right armpit. Rest your weight onto knee, onto thigh. Gently sway and roll from side to side. And there's no weight in the hands. They're just gently resting on earth. And check into are you pulling your knees together, or can you reach them away from one another and then soften into hip flexors? Really give into gravity. Check in, where am I resisting? Where might I be holding on? Where is there a discomfort which I would not like to feel and therefore I contract? But continue to flow with your breath instead. Every inhale, an expansion. With every exhale, you soften. From here, we slowly shift our hips back, mindfully observing all that is alive in us. Folding over our front leg, coming forwards again, lifting through heart, relaxing the shoulders, and moving it back again. Sit bones lift, heart open. One more time, coming forwards and moving back. Exploring. Knee above heel, hands, fingertips onto mat, back toes tuck under. We step our back foot in, see that your feet are hip wide apart, and lift it up into lunge. Hands up, inhale here, and exhale your hands through the sides onto hips. Right hip gently draws back, left hip forward, bend your back knee. Let's bring it down onto mat. If you notice your right knee coming too far forward, step your back foot back a little. Align your hips, so tailbone down, navel up and in so your heart can open, your shoulders soften down. Hold your tension in your center and let the rest soften. And then from here we rise our arms up. Maybe we need our hands on our knee, or we can just rise back up onto foot here. So back knee bends, we straighten the back leg, we lift and lower the heel. We play around a bit, we feel into this. We bring our hands together down to heart. We lean forward. Feel your body align with back leg. Feel that forward movement, and then left elbow onto knee or over knee as you stack, as you twist, as you maybe soften deeper into hips. Keep your back leg active as you maybe open your arms. Lean into yourself, open wide. Relax your toes. Relax your face, hands together, back to center, rising up, and we open to the left. So our arms come out to the side, left heel comes down. Stay where you're at, I'll turn around. Knee above heel, arms out. Have a look. So back toes pointing slightly forwards, pinky toe side parallel, front knee above heel. You might have done this a million times, but check in anyways. Pelvis upright, navel strong, sacrum wide, arms to the sides. Are you holding your arms up? Can you press them down gently? Sitting deeply, have a look, have a feel. We're taking time, we're letting our body expand in space. We're letting this very powerful pose sink in. Beautiful. Maybe you can deepen into front knee. Let's reach forward. The elbow or arm comes to inner knee. And then the left arm comes around and up and over. If you like, you can even use your left hand on your ribs and on your hip. See if you can deepen into front knee as you strive into fingertips. It might be more true for you to reach your hand up. Feel free to play, wiggle your toes, check in where you're holding tension, where you're holding tight. Another inhale, another exhale, preparing to come back up into warrior, to lean it back, let the hand drop, let the top hand, the front hand reach. It's not just the arm that reaches, you're reaching from tailbone through your entire spine into fingertips. So this length is an inner length, it's like a mindset, it's like a reaching from deep within you. Front knee forward, have a peek. Make sure it's above the heel, back leg extended, and you're really strong. You're opening your hips, you're leaning into heart. Whew, I'm huffing and puffing. I think you are too. Arms out to the sides. Find your way back into lunge warrior. So we're aligning ourselves towards the short side of the mat again. Hands onto knee, gently cupping the knee, coming forward. Whew. The legs are wobbling. Lift it up, lift it up. So your knee can be bent deeply or move towards straightening. Stabilize it with your hands. Stepping back, rising up, has a bit of a yay, and then coming forwards again. Leaning, lengthening, reaching. You might find yourself lifting even more. Maybe you surprise yourself today, doing things you never knew you should, or you could, not should. And celebrate, yay! Inhale here, we exhale our hands onto earth, spreading our fingers, let your hands take weight, prepare, lift your navel, and slide your right foot back into three-legged downward facing dog. Beautiful, well done. Release the leg down. Let's come into a well-deserved child's pose. So either your knees together or your knees apart and your big toes together. You decide. Settle down and fold forward. So with your knees apart, your chest drops into the space between your knees. With your knees together, your spine rounds over your legs. Have your arms where it suits you. Resist nothing. Every inhalation, you expand. With every exhalation, soften. Soften into earth and soften into yourself. Soften back into being. Any thoughts there might be, let them drain out your forehead into earth. Take a moment. You're ready, come up to sit onto heels. We all bring our knees parallel, so our thighs basically together. Come onto knees. And you can, let's point our toes back. Ground the tops of your feet. So wiggle your toes. Feel the top feet ground into earth, pressing into earth. And that gives you energy to press your hips forward. And lift the navel up, use your glutes to point your tailbone down. So you're tilting your pelvis backwards gently. And if you're here and this is enough, you stay. If there's a little more space, maybe arms out to the sides. Let your shoulder blades slide towards pelvis. Always remember to keep the space between navel and pubic bone really strong. Maybe the hands come back as you go a little further. Keeping sacrum wide. And we take time for this. Check into feet. Are they still on the mat? Spreading out? Might there be space to find the heels? Might there be space to open the throat? And slowly from a strong center, come up And come forwards, onto hands and knees. Just be here, park here for a moment. We've gone into a very big back bend. Notice the sensations. And when you're ready, start arching as you inhale and rounding as you exhale. Do a few of these, releasing and resetting the spine. And let's come into neutral spine. Have a look over your left shoulder. Bring your left shoulder blade and left hip towards one another. So you're squeezing the left waistline and you're looking at your left foot and you squeeze. And you inhale to center and you exhale, you do the same thing on the right side. Squeeze. Squeeze. And back to center. Keep your hips above your knees. Just slide your hands forward. So hips above knees, hands come forward and your forehead comes onto mat. If this feels impossible in your upper arms and your shoulders, move your hands slightly apart. That gives a bit of release. And then soften. Consciously using your breath to soften your sternum and your armpits towards the mat. Picture your spine like a hanging bridge. So your sit bones are rising high, your tailbone the highest point, and your entire spine melting down to earth. Guide your breath up and down your spine, and wherever there's tension, release it, let it go. Breathe space. Let the muscles between your ribs soften. Feel your sternum melt down to earth. Another big inhale here, exhale to deepen. And then slowly slide your sit bones back onto heels. Folding, softening in child's pose. Rolling yourself up to sit on heels. Beautiful. Roll your shoulders a few times. Be spacious, wide and long. Come onto hands and knees. Tuck your toes to find down dog. Beautiful. Be in your down dog. Feel. Breathe it in and breathe it out. And walk your hands to feet. As your hands come to feet, gently lift them up. Lift your heart forwards and up. Lift your kneecaps up and exhale to fold it. Soften. Let your arms hang. Maybe nodding your head, softening your neck. And then bend your knees, round yourself up. Tailbone points down and forwards, rounding up to stand. And roll your shoulders back. Beautiful. Stand. Be conscious in how you stand on your feet. Be conscious in that length you're creating all the way from your pelvic floor, from your tailbone into crown. And take a few breaths really deep through inner ankles, through your center up. And then the exhalation is almost like a fountain, like a softening down. Softens your face, it softens your ears, it softens your shoulders, it softens your ribs, your shoulder blades. And every inhale lets you grow taller. Every exhale, there's that softening. Feel that groundedness. Notice what it feels like to just be. Then we open our eyes. We take that same sense of peace into reaching our arms up as we inhale. And then soften shoulders down. Even though our arms are above our hips, soften down. Sit back, Utkatasana. Slide your hands past your legs, past your hips. Interlock your hands the unfamiliar way. Keep your elbows bent. Release your chest and torso onto thighs. And reach your arms up and over. Let your head hang. Rise your sit bones up high. Feel your feet ground. And release it. Rising arms up. Inhale here. Exhale, folding forwards. Hands walk to front mat. And from here, from our plank, we bring our knees down. We point our toes back. We squeeze our glutes to soften our hips down and lift our heart. And if you like, you press the tops of your feet into mat, lift the knees and lift the heart even higher. See what's true for you this moment, here and now. Be fully here, nowhere else. Another inhale and then coming into down dog, reaching it back. Beautiful. Look at hands and then walk your feet to hands, squatting. So have enough space. And squatting for you might need something under your heels, or your heels might just be lifted, or you might be able to sit into it. Embrace what is. Help yourself if you need some wall next to you. Open your knees wide, make space. Don't let yourself be crushed by you. Open wide. If you want your hands together, opening even wider, beautiful. Hands come down onto mat, just gently rest fingertips onto earth. Our toes are pointing outwards and we lift our hips. Just for a moment, lift them up. See if you can look forwards, arch your back, arch your lower back. Wiggle your toes, make sure they're not holding on and fold it forwards. Slowly dropping hips back down. Well done. Come, bring your fingertips back and come to seated. Bring the soles of your feet together and have it a long diamond shape. So the feet not closed, they're far. Move the flesh back and away from sit bones. Have a moment. Let your thighs relax and soften. And if you like, if you can, gently fold forwards. Notice whether the knees are coming up. Release them down. Sometimes it's nice to just hold the legs from underneath. Some days it's more true to add a bit of weight and challenge the legs to open a little deeper. So see where you're at today. There's no forcing, no striving. We already are all we've ever wanted to be. So just surrender into it. Surrender into the perfection of this moment and see if your body allows you to go a little further. We don't need to force or push. I always thought there was a little pot of gold if ever my forehead rested on my heels. But there isn't. Bummer. The gold is here and now and embracing what is. Bring your chin to chest, round yourself up to sit. And now we'll bring our feet a little closer. If you happen to be close to a wall, like I am, you might want to move back towards the wall. If you're in space, that's great. But if you're up against the wall, you can really ground your sacrum so nicely into the wall. Bring your feet close. You can open your chest as you ground your shoulder blades into a wall. And then drop your knees down, maybe gently butterfly them up and down. And if there's no wall, you might be here with your hands behind you to support you. Or you might be here with your hands on feet, being supported from earth and just the strength of your center. So wherever you're at, your shoulder blades slide, your crown rises. Check in with forehead, soften it. And come to stillness in your legs, close your eyes. See if you can melt them a little further down to earth. Notice if there's an inner dialogue of, oh, I can't and I won't. And just ask the question, where do I need to relax? Where do I need to contract? To open a little wider? Learning to ask ourselves helpful questions, not the questions that create answers that get in the way. So asking the questions that take us where we'd like to be, where we'd like to go. Going a little further. And then slowly straighten up. Beautiful. Keep your left foot where it is and just stretch your right leg out. So you on both sit bones, grounded deeply, left hand gently on the left knee, and then we align our spine, we align ourselves with our right leg as good as we can. Folding forwards, rolling onto the front sit bones. If you'd like, you can bring that left hand around and grab the foot as well. So I'll move here, maybe you can see better. So finding the foot And sway your chest left and right, align your collarbones with the mat, align your spine with your leg. Every inhale and expansion throughout. Every exhale you soften. And it doesn't matter whether you're here, or here, or here. Be where you're at. Take another inhale, another exhale to deepen, coming up. We release with a little bit of a twist. So hands come onto the bent knee thigh. Look behind you, twist behind you. If that back hand happens to want to come around and grab the extended leg thigh, maybe it does, or it might rest on the mat. Can we flex our right foot? Not forget about that. Reach into crown, turn deeply, twist deeply. And back to center. Swapping legs. So left leg extends out, right knee comes up. Right knee opens to the side, right foot on inner left thigh. Lengthen high and tall. I just remembered when I did my teacher training, I think this was the very first pose I ever taught in my life. It still comes up every time I do this pose. And it's evolved since, but still I see myself right there. So nervous. So right knee out to the side. We move forwards towards our leg. In your own perfect way. Finding your own way into the forward fold. Notice that the two sides might be very different. Ground your sit bones. Every inhale an expansion. Every exhale a gentle surrender. Press the back of your extended knee into mat. Roll onto front sit bones. Lift your navel, spine long. Another inhale to go deeper, exhale to soften, and we come up towards our bent knee, hands onto thigh, sit tall, twist, maybe just a gentle twist, or the back hand comes onto mat or onto thigh, twisting deeply, maybe checking in with left foot, keeping it flexed, lean into yourself as you twist even deeper, and also turning your head, not just your chest, turn your head. Widen your range of movement. And center. Beautiful. Lift your right knee up. Stretch both legs out. Give them a bit of a squeeze, a bit of a wobble, a bit of a shake, a bit of a whatever works for you. Then move your sit bones closer to heels. Have your feet rest on your mat. We're going to lie down onto mat. So roll your tailbone forward. Round your lower back. And then roll your spine down onto mat. Make your spine as long as it can be. Keep your spine on the mat as you reach your arms up and over. Feel that beautiful stretch, beautiful length. Feel your ribs expand. Chin to chest, let's roll up one more time. Chin to chest, imprint your lower back into mat. If you need to grab your thighs, grab them. Reach up, roll up. And then again, rolling down. Tilting pelvis, broaden your lower back, roll down, imprint your spine, arms come out to the sides, knees come up to chest, hands onto knees, maybe just that, gently massaging our lower back, our spine. If you like, you can wrap your arms around you, squeeze them in, and check in, is there anything else you need to do to feel balanced? Then you're welcome to do. Otherwise, stretch your legs out. Rest your head down. Have a look. See your body align in space. Let your navel soften. Let your lower back soften, lengthen. Feel your back pelvis grounded. Gently tuck your shoulder blades under. Palms facing up, fingers curling in. They're actually just doing what they're doing. Rest your outer shoulders into earth. Guide your attention to collarbones and soften them. Notice how familiar we might be with contracting our chest, holding our hearts safe. But here you're safe, so allow this grip to soften. Allow your sternum to soften. Allow the muscles between your ribs to soften. And fully surrender into earth holding you. Close your eyes. Close your eyes, let your face melt. Your tongue, your jaws, your lips, your cheeks. Soften your eyelids, soften your forehead, your ears, your inner ears. And notice how each moment lets you soften a little deeper. Soften the muscles around your hips, your pelvis. Our thighs have worked hard. So meander your awareness, meander your attention through your body. Maybe starting with the shoulders, the neck, the throat. And all you do is say, soften, relax, release. Sending out signals of safety and belonging. Let yourself be all that you are this moment. Witnessing breath, witnessing sensations, witnessing sounds. Maybe you hear birds outside or cars. I can hear little baby birds in a nest outside, and in the background I can hear the ocean. And I sometimes imagine that I can hear the mountain. So open yourself up, penetrate into those deep layers of being. Penetrate into more and more subtle layers of sensation. Let yourself be still. Let yourself be like the blue sky behind any kind of weather, birds, aeroplanes, whatever is busy in the sky. There's always this vast, still, eternal blueness behind it. Become that. Let that sense of spaciousness and stillness fill you up. A remembering of your true essence. Breathing that in and out. Letting your heart dance with joy of being alive. Fully present with each moment of this experience. If you feel like staying here, you're welcome to. Simply stay. Take your time, move in your own pace. If you'd like to close this session with us, gently invite breath to deepen. No forcing, no straining. Let breath wash through you. Maybe up and down, side to side. Let your breath be so big that your body literally starts moving with it. Feel your body expand with breath and soften with breath. And take that movement to awaken back into physical body and into movement. Maintain your sky-like inner spaciousness as you slowly, in your own way, find your sit bones. Sit up tall, cross your legs. Take your shavasana with. Take that stillness with. The sharpness of your attention and focus. Stillness in your mind. And once you're seated, bring your hands onto heart. Just gently touching heart center, wherever that is for you, and feel. See if you can broaden heart center into hands. Soften shoulders. Just feel, simply feel. Notice what happens. inhale together and gently lift and rise and make ourselves a little more tall and wide and long. And then we exhale, bowing the knowledge of our minds really to the wisdom of our hearts. Looking inwards, and we do this also as a gesture of thanking ourselves, and then the beauty in that is that as we thank ourselves, as we connect with ourselves, we really thank one another, connect with one another. So slowly lift your gaze, open your eyes. From the depth of my heart, I thank you for joining our session today. It was a great honor and pleasure. I wish you a beautiful rest of the day. Thank you all for joining, and I am looking forward. I'm looking forward to see you on Saturday. If you ever like to share something or have questions, you're welcome to contact me anytime. Lots of love. Bye.